I'm not doing what I reckon, just a speck in the unspeakable. This body, this feeling, always moving, always changeable. But the space in between, I love the clear blue open sky.
Meeting in not knowing, which is one expression, a way of pointing to who you really are. Beyond all the words, beyond all the concepts, beyond all imagination, beyond any experiences, whether they are very peaceful or very spiritual, or very painful or uncomfortable. What I'm pointing to is beyond everything that happens. And yet, paradoxically, is not separate from anything that happens. It is a paradox and can't be understood. But it is quite natural for thought to try its best to understand it. That's thought's job. To really try hard, to make a lot of effort, to do its best. And it does. It works very hard sometimes. So when thought stops for a moment here and there, we feel like, such peace. But what I'm pointing to isn't the peace that is when there's no thought. That peace comes and goes. It can't be relied on to stay forever. And I don't know about you, but I've had enough of chasing experiences of peace. So what I'm pointing to is not an experience at all. It is that is aware of every experience. This experience right now, this sensation that you feel right now, sitting on this chair, the sound of my voice, this image that you see right now. Who is seeing this image right now? Who is feeling this sensation right now? Usually we take myself to be someone separate that inhabits a body, that is separate from other bodies, and we grow up believing that. In fact, it seems that everything else and everyone else around us seems to support that idea. But somehow, somewhere, there's a knowing beyond all of that. But there's something wrong with that belief in separation, that idea that you are separate from everything and everyone else. It feels somehow wrong, or as if something is missing. And that often leads us to a spiritual search, or any kind of search, in fact. Thought tries very hard to find whatever it is that it thinks is missing. And you go down lots of different paths, trying lots of different things, lots of different practices or teachers. And some things help, it seems, for a while. But the root of it is never really pulled out or touched, let's say. because it's all based on an idea that you are someone who needs to find something that is missing in your life. So the root of the search, whether it's a spiritual search or any search, is to know who is searching. To recognize who you really are. And it may not seem that that's actually what you're searching for. Maybe if you ask yourself what you're searching for, it may be the end of discomfort, the end of pain. But unfortunately, I have to burst that bubble that there is not necessarily ever going to be the end of pain. This physical body is bound to have pain. That's the nature of life. In fact, as you get older, you probably will have more pain. But who you really are is never touched by any pain or pleasure, in fact. Because pain and pleasure come and go, come and go. And neither of them can be relied on to stay forever. Anything that happens comes and goes. It cannot be relied on to stay forever. So you can chase pleasure, which I think seems very tiring, to constantly be chasing pleasure and running from pain. Or recognize who you are right now. And see that all this chasing is happening in you. You are not the one that is doing the chasing. You are not the one that is experiencing pain or pleasure. You don't own anything. Sensations come and go. And who you are never moves. Absolutely still, absolutely silent, absolutely untouched. But this is never something that you can attain or get or do. Because who would attain or get or do? Any trying to get is thought. Thought imagining that there's something missing. Imagining that right now isn't quite good enough, just the way it is. That this uncomfortable sensation that maybe you feel means that there's something missing. That I'm not good enough, or my experience isn't good enough. This is thought. Is it true that what is right now isn't good enough when you don't refer to thought? Do you know that right now isn't good enough?
When you have a dog, you go for a walk. When you have a child, you go to the beach. When you have a lover, you stay in bed. When you watch a movie, it gets in your head. La 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 la. Oh, la 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 la.